I was sitting alone one night, staring at my phone, wondering why I still couldn't speak English after all these years. I had tried so many things before: online classes, grammar books, even apps, but nothing worked for me in the long run. Each time I started, I was excited, hopeful, ready to become fluent. But each time, I stopped after a few weeks. Maybe you know that feeling too. You try, you hope, and then life gets in the way, or you just feel the slow. I wasn't stupid. I wasn't lazy. I just couldn't keep going when I didn't see results, and that hurt more than anything. At one point, I told myself, maybe English just isn't for me. I started to believe that I would never learn it. But something happened that night. I watched a video, just a simple story, but it changed something deep inside me. It wasn't a lesson. It wasn't a tip or a technique. It was a voice, calm and honest, telling their journey with English. It was about failing, feeling small, feeling behind, but not giving up. Just trying one more time in a small way. That's when I realized, maybe I didn't need to learn everything. Maybe I just needed to keep going. And that's where my story begins. The story of someone who started again, not perfectly, but honestly. My name is Yuta. I'm 34. I work in a small store in Osaka. I never went to college, but I always had dreams. Since I was a boy, I loved English songs. I wanted to travel, meet people, talk freely, but I was always too shy. I failed my English class in high school twice. I couldn't pronounce words. I hated speaking in front of people. After that, I gave up. I thought, it's too hard. I avoided English movies. I skipped meetings with foreigners at work, but deep inside, I still wanted it. I still wanted to speak, just a little, just enough to feel proud of myself. Then came the night I watched that video. A man shared his story. He also failed again and again. But he spoke so clearly. He said one thing I will never forget. Fluency is not a gift. It's a choice you make every day. I paused the video, wrote that sentence in my old notebook, and I made a promise to myself. Just 1 week. Try again. Not with big plans. Not with expensive courses. Just 10 minutes a day, speaking to myself. No judgment. The next morning, I stood in front of the mirror and said, "Good morning, Yuta. How are you today?" It felt strange. My voice was soft. My accent was strong. I laughed at myself, but I did it again the next day. I also started to listen to that man's video again. Every morning, just listening, repeating some lines after him. My English was still broken, but I was doing something I never did before: speaking out loud. Every single day, after 1 week, I felt something new. Not confidence, but curiosity. I wanted to know if I could do more. So I recorded my voice. Just 1 minute. I said simple things. I like coffee. I go to work. I live in Osaka. Then I listened. My voice was not terrible, not perfect, but real. That was the first time I didn't hate how I sounded. I started using my old notebook again. I wrote short sentences every day. Today was hard. I feel tired, but I didn't give up. I didn't study grammar. I didn't memorize rules. I just wrote how I felt. Then read it out loud, shadowed myself. Sometimes I used subtitles from YouTube videos. I paused after each sentence and copied the voice slowly. My favorite video was a short English story about a woman who learned to speak after age 50. It gave me so much hope. At the end of each video, I whispered to myself, one day I'll speak like that. Just keep going, Yuta. I didn't tell anyone, not my friends, not my coworkers. This was my little secret, my quiet fight against fear. One day, my coworker asked, "Are you watching English videos every day?" I smiled. "Yes, just a few minutes." She laughed. "You're serious this time?" I nodded. "Yes, but I'm not in a rush." just trying to stay with it. For the first time in years, I felt like I wasn't pretending anymore. I wasn't chasing perfection. I was showing up for myself. Even 10 minutes a day felt like a big step. I was building a habit, and more than that, I was building belief. Some mornings, I felt proud. I spoke 3 sentences in a row without stopping. I understood a full video without subtitles. That felt like magic. Other days, I didn't want to do anything. I woke up tired. The words felt heavy. I thought, what's the point? No one will hear me. But even on those days, I still opened my notebook. I still said 1 sentence. I still listened to 1 short video with subtitles. I always ended up doing more than 10 minutes. I told myself 10 minutes. That's all, and somehow, just starting changed everything. After 1 month, I had 30 short recordings in my phone. I listened to the first one again. My voice sounded clearer. That surprised me. I noticed I was using longer sentences. I didn't think so much before speaking. My pauses were shorter. My tone felt more natural. But there were still moments I hated my voice. I still made basic mistakes. I still couldn't understand fast conversations. One day, I tried to talk to a tourist in my store. I stood there, heart beating fast, feeling stupid again. A line I wrote last week. Even 1 sentence a day is still progress. I've practiced so much. I thought, why can't I speak? She asked. Do you sell SIM cards? I froze. My mind went completely blank. She smiled and walked away. That night, I almost deleted all my recordings. I told myself, this is not working. I'm wasting my time again, but before I closed my notebook, I saw something. Spoken gently. Today will be a good day. Speak slowly. It's okay to pause. Simple sentences. Practice, not perfect. You are learning every day before work. After lunch. Hey, I saw your story with subtitles. You practicing. On the train, I repeated it like a quiet prayer. Some days I felt amazing. Some days I wanted to hide. Both were part of the journey. That hit me hard because it was true. I had spoken more English this month than the past 5 years combined. I was growing, quietly, slowly, but it was real. And that was enough. I'm trying to speak more now. It's hard but fun. I reread the message 10 times, but I hit send. I talk to myself while cleaning dishes, walking, brushing teeth, or folding clothes. I was expecting too much too soon. I wanted to jump when I had just started to walk. I forgot how far I'd come already. I was tired from work. I forgot my lines. I mixed up tenses. I opened my notebook again. I wrote. Today was hard. I felt like a failure again, so I took a deep breath. I failed, but I showed up. The next morning, I looked in the mirror and said, mistakes are part of learning. I'm still proud of me. Why do I keep trying if I still make the same mistakes? That became my mantra. I whispered it every morning. I picked 2 or 3 sentences, slowed them down, and repeated again and again until it felt smooth. I started using self-talk more intentionally. Yuta, you are doing well. I even wrote reminders on sticky notes. 1 sentence is better than none. Let me know if you ever want to practice together. My heart felt warm. That message meant everything. Sometimes I shadowed short podcasts. I didn't need to understand everything. I just needed to let English live in my mouth, not just in my head. After 2 months, a friend messaged me in English. I replied in English, yes. She replied, I'm proud of you. It was the first time someone saw my effort and said, I see you. That gave me energy to keep going for another week. But learning is not a straight line. One night, I cried. I sat on my bed, looked at the ceiling, and said, why am I doing this? Then I opened my voice memo app and played a recording from my first week. My voice was shaking. My words were broken. But now I could hear the change. In my third month of practice, something happened that I didn't expect. Something that made me question everything I had worked for. My store was closing. The owner couldn't pay the rent anymore. One morning, he called everyone and said, "I'm sorry. Next week is our last." I stood in silence. I had worked there for years. It wasn't just a job. It was the one place I felt useful, even without perfect English. No job, no real skill, just a fake hope. When I got home, I didn't practice. I didn't open my notebook. I didn't talk to the mirror. I just sat in the dark and stared at nothing. I felt like I was falling back into my old life. The life where I stayed quiet, even when I wanted to be heard. I thought, why did I even try? English won't save me. I'm still the same. I stared at that sentence like it was written by someone else. Then I said it out loud, slowly. For 3 days, I did nothing. I ignored my reminders. I avoided my voice memos. The life where I waited for others to speak first. It said, one sentence is better than none. On the fourth night, I saw the sticky note on my door. I had forgotten about it. I watched a story of a man who learned English in prison. A month ago, smiling, I put it on my wall. I said it before sleep. I said it when I woke up. It became my second breath, but something inside said, just try. So I smiled and said, hello, I'd like to ask about this position. Do you speak English? I nodded, nervous, a little. I'm practicing, saying, hi, future Yuta. One booth had a sign, English speakers preferred. I made mistakes. And for me, that was a big win. I paused a lot, but I didn't freeze. I didn't give up. I kept going. If you're watching this, I hope you didn't quit. I ripped it off. I almost threw it in the trash, but I stopped. I didn't know why, but I opened it. It was just 30 seconds. Tears filled my eyes. Keep learning, not because I failed, but because I did something I never thought I could do. Talk to a stranger in English. We'll contact you if something opens up. I whispered, I'm sorry, not to anyone else. Just to myself, to that version of me who tried. And then I remembered a small video I had saved long ago. I had forgotten I made that video. I looked into my own eyes on the screen. I looked tired, but hopeful. It was me. My heart sank. I paused the video. I sat down and wrote one line. I'm not okay today, but I will not give up. It was quiet, but it was the first step back after falling hard. But I'm still learning. That moment was not loud or powerful. The next morning, I recorded one new voice memo. Just 10 seconds. I said, I lost my job. I feel lost. It was shaky, but honest, and it felt like breathing again after holding it in for too long. I didn't practice long that day, just a few minutes. He said, when life falls apart, words can build you again. That sentence stayed with me all day. I wrote it down. A week later, I went to a job fair. There were international companies. I almost walked past. The man looked at me. He replied slowly, yes, of course. I spoke. I didn't run away. We spoke for 5 minutes. He gave me a card. He said, you have a good attitude. I walked out shaking. That night, I wrote in my notebook. I showed up. Even when life got dark, something small, one video, one note, one sentence was enough to pull me back into the light. After that small conversation at the job fair, something changed in me. I didn't feel fluent, but I felt brave. That was enough. I stopped waiting for motivation. I started trusting the process. One small practice, one line a day. Each night, I chose one short video and shadowed it 3 times. Just 2 minutes, but I did it with care, not pressure. I didn't try to be perfect. I just tried to sound more natural. Sometimes I smiled at my own progress. It felt good. Dear Yuta, I'm proud of you. You are showing up even when it's hard. One morning, I checked my notebook and saw 20 full pages. Every page had a part of me: thoughts, hopes, mistakes, dreams. I decided to write something new. A letter to myself. Just speak. I'm listening. That day, I started a new habit. Once a week, I wrote a letter to my future self. It helped me stay kind and focused. She said, "I feel lost. Want to try something simple together?" She said yes. One night, I got a message from my cousin. She was struggling with English for a job interview. I replied, "I understand. I felt the same." Every Friday evening, we had a 10-minute video call just to talk in simple English. We practiced greetings, talked about food, our day, small things. But the joy was real, so we started a new routine. I explained the direction in English, slowly, clearly, but I practice every day. This was you. I said, "Yes, we all begin somewhere. You're becoming someone new." My voice didn't sound like a stranger anymore. I felt scared, but I did it. I'm proud. At first, she was shy. But I told her it's okay to pause. It's okay to forget words. I was simply trying to live a little more fully, one sentence at a time. "No, I'm just someone who didn't quit." She laughed and said, "You sound like a teacher." I smiled. That call gave me energy. It reminded me why I started in the first place. Not to impress, but to connect. Each week, we improved. Sometimes I shared my old voice memos with her. She was surprised, because I remembered how one video gave me hope too. She said, "You give me hope." That line stayed in my heart for days. Now, I was doing the same for someone else. It felt like a full circle, a quiet gift from struggle. I printed a photo of me speaking on that call. I taped it beside my desk. Under it, I wrote, "Keep going." I stood up and asked, "Can I help you?" My voice was calm, steady. One Sunday, I went to a local cafe. A tourist couple sat near me. They looked confused, checking their phones. I heard them say, "Where is this temple?" I walked home that day with light in my steps. I felt alive, useful, connected. They smiled. "Yes, thank you. We're looking for this address." Afterwards, they said, "Your English is very good." I laughed. "Thank you. I'm still learning." They said, "That's inspiring." That evening, I recorded a new message. Today, I helped someone in English. I listened to that recording 3 times. Each time, I smiled more. I wasn't trying to reach some perfect level. 1 year passed since I started again. I didn't even realize it until I saw the date on my first voice memo. 12 months, over 300 short recordings. But I was free, at work, in small shops, on the phone. "Your English is good," they said. I always smiled and replied, "I practice." But a few people commented. This gave me hope. "You sound like me. Maybe I can try again too." I could speak without fear. I could listen without panic. Just a simple video, my voice before and after. No edits, just truth. I could express myself, slowly but honestly. A full notebook, hours of self-talk, a few tears. I write more now. That's how it grows into something beautiful and real. But most of all, I believe more now. Be kind, be honest, be patient. You are not alone. In myself, in others. One word, one step, one quiet decision at a time. In the power of steady effort, just begin many small victories. I say, mirror, notebook, voice, patience, and one promise I didn't break. I wasn't fluent. Yes, please try again. I used to love English, but I gave up. Now I want to try again because of your story. Start small. Don't worry about mistakes. Just begin. And keep going. People began to notice. I never said I'm talented because I'm not. What I am is consistent, and that's stronger than talent. And that made all the difference. One evening, I shared my story online. I didn't expect many views. I replied to every comment. Soon, a young man messaged me. I told him that makes me happy. Remember, I'm not special. I just didn't stop this time. I thought back to the first day I stood in front of the mirror. I had whispered, "Good morning, Yuda." Now, I say more than that. Today, I will not give up on myself. I say, today, I'm still learning. Today, I'm still growing. Sometimes, I still feel small. But I remind myself, small steps still move forward. Slow is still a speed. When people ask, "How did you learn?" I don't say apps or teachers. I speak more now. If you're watching this, maybe you feel tired. Maybe you've tried before, and then don't stop. Maybe you think it's too late for you. But I want you to hear me clearly. It's not too late. You don't need perfect. You just need to start. One sentence a day. That's how it begins. That's how it continues. Your voice matters. Your progress matters. And someone, someday, will need your story just like I needed someone else's. Don't try to impress the world. Speak to yourself first. For starting, for staying, for showing up again. And if no one tells you this, let me be the one. I'm proud of you. Let this be your reminder. You are becoming someone new. Don't wait for the perfect moment. This moment is enough. Don't wait to feel ready. And if you ever feel lost again, just say it out loud. I'm learning. I'm growing. I will not give up because that's where it all begins. Not in perfection, but in persistence. And I promise you 1 year from now, your voice will surprise you too.